Hey Internet, welcome to another coffee break. Of course, my name is Scott Ford from Mr. Ford's class, and in this episode, I want to take a look at minimum wage. Hey, so welcome back. Hopefully you've got your coffee in tow. I have got my nice coffee going here, and I want to talk about something that is going to be a little controversial, but honestly needs to be talked about, and that would be minimum wage. The reason why I want to talk about this is because the debate that's going on is totally and completely 100% missing the bigger issue. Imagine that, politics missing the bigger issue, because we have one side, right, that's going quote-unquote livable wage, we need to raise minimum wage, all this stuff. We have the other side that's saying no, hamburger flippers don't deserve a livable wage. And both sides are wrong, okay? Both sides are 100% completely heads up their butt wrong. So now I've just managed to cheese off about 80% of my audience. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Before you call me the devil, okay, just bear with me. I've spent my entire adult life, over 15, 16 years, even longer than that now, making sure that people did not have to earn minimum wage, okay? Really, adults, minimum wage for an adult is not enough to live off of. Let's be honest, it's not enough for an adult to live off of. So I've spent my entire adult life making sure adults did not have to live off of minimum wage, which again is more than half of the people out there protesting minimum wage has ever done. Okay, you protest minimum wage, minimum wage, livable wage. You know, I'm hearing Bernie Sanders talk about, Bernie Sanders, put your money where your mouth is, stop campaigning, and actually make a difference by helping people get off of minimum wage. Okay, same thing with all the Democrats and liberals out there. Actually make a difference instead of campaigning and using these people for votes. Actually change their lives like I'm doing. Okay, not only have I been teaching face-to-face for over 15, 16 years, my online videos, my educational videos are helping hundreds of thousands of people a month. Okay, over 140,000, 150,000 views per month. I'm helping people around the world to get them off of our minimum wage or whatever version of minimum wage that their country has. Okay, so if you're out there and you're going, oh, he's against, there's a reason, and I'm going to get to it in a second, okay? So, sorry, a little passionate about that one. But, you know, we have students in our school systems, in our public school systems out here in America. We have kids in our schools for about 13 to 14 years of their life. 13 to 14 years of their life, a little bit longer, a little bit less, okay? And we graduate them from high school without any marketable skills. Let's all agree, whether you're on the left or you're on the right, that we have students for so much time of their life that when they graduate, they have no marketable skills. This is not a failing of the minimum wage system. This is not a failing of the job market. What we have here, what the root of this conversation needs to be about minimum wage is not about livable wage, is not about we need to talk about the fact that it's a failing of our education system. What's the purpose of school? Why the hell do we have public school? Why do we keep kids in from kindergarten to 12th grade if they are graduating without any skills to make a living? I mean, for the love of God, it's the definition of what school should be, right? You're going to go to school your entire youth life. We're going to get you from elementary school, middle school, high school, and we're going to give you a final product that can't make a living. If you're a liberal, if you're a conservative, or anywhere in between, this is the conversation we need to be having. It's the fact that kids are graduating schools at 18, 17, 19 years old, and they have no marketable skills. And so now they must go and make minimum wage. That is the conversation, not what we're seeing out there. We need to look at our education system and say, look, we have you for such a humongous chunk of your life. You know what? When you're done with high school, you're going to have some sort of skill where you can make a living doing that. And so the entire debate about minimum wage becomes a moot point. The only people that should be working for minimum wage are untrained, unskilled high school labor force. And I'll tell you, I'm even against minimum wage altogether. It should be whatever you can ask for in your money, in your salary, in your wages is what you agree to. Minimum wage is ridiculous. Because if you have the skills and the knowledge and the ability, your employer will pay you what it's worth. But then again, if public schools aren't giving you the skills, the knowledge, the abilities to make a living, that's not a failing of the business world. That's not a failing of you. It's a failing of our schools. Let's be honest. You spend 13 to 14 years of your life in a public school to graduate without any marketable skills. A high school diploma is worthless. Flat out, it's worthless. So, how do we change this? I'm glad you asked. I have spent most of my life working in the career technology world. I've worked in the workforce departments of colleges. I've had people in my classes to go through nursing, to occupational therapy, to go into computers, IT, all this stuff. We need to look at our high schools and actually get rid of this whole concept that every kid has to go to college. Oh, Johnny, if you don't go to college, you're a failure. Oh, Sally, what do you mean you don't want to go to college? You must be stupid. Let's get rid of this concept first and foremost, okay? Because a college degree isn't for everyone. I've seen kids in high schools over my years that hate school, okay? That hate it. They're like, why? I hate math, or I hate English, or I hate social studies, or I hate something. But they love something. They love a passion. I was fortunate to work for Humble ISD for 4 years. I developed an amazing computer certification program, computer repair program thing. And we had students who were going to cosmetology. You can make you're not making minimum wage if you're a cosmetologist, okay? If you're a hairstylist, my vavá, my grandmother, vavá is Portuguese for grandmother. My vavá put me through college as a hairdresser. She didn't have a high school diploma. She was a hairdresser, and she put my mom and myself through university on the money she made. Okay, hairdressers can make a lot of money. They can make a good living. Carpenters can make a really good living. I mean, good Lord, a master carpenter can make more than doctors now. A master plumber can make more than a doctor now. Electricians, okay? We are failing our students, our kids, by not graduating them with trade skills that they need. Let's identify kids instead of shaming them and saying you have to take 4 years of math and 4 years of science and 4 years of English and da 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 da, and you will do this and you will do this, and we're going to test the hell out of you, by the way, until you're old enough to say I quit. Let's start looking at what the aptitudes are. If you have a kid who loves cars, loves to tinker with cars, loves to mess with cars, we have car mechanic programs, we have auto body repair programs. Put them in a field that they love to do. And all of a sudden, school no longer becomes a chore. School no longer becomes something evil that they have to do. No. They're in a program they love to do. I can't tell you how many kids I've had in my entire career who only came to school because of my class. Now, I'm not saying that specifically because I'm this amazing teacher, although I am, but because they have a passion for whatever you're teaching. In career technology classes, you don't force kids into career technology classes. You don't force kids into the beautician programs. You don't force kids into the car mechanic program. You don't force kids into the healthcare programs. They want to be there. In fact, in many kids, it's the only reason why they're showing up to school to begin with. I had one kid who will remain nameless, but if they're watching this video, you know who you are, who used to skip his classes but used to show up to my school, my class, which caused all sorts of problems because the system would call home, but he'd be in my class. Kids don't skip career and technology programs because that's what they have a passion for. That's what they love to do. So here's the deal. Let's take all the people who are demanding a livable wage, tell them to shut up. Let's take all the people who say hamburger flippers don't deserve a livable wage, tell them to shut up, and say, now let's look at our schools. And we demand We demand as community members, we demand as neighbors that schools start graduating students with either the trade skills to be productive citizens and make a living. Pause for the coffee, thus the coffee break. We demand that, or we say they go to college. We need to start saying this general education system isn't working, and we either need students with trade skills that can make a life and a livelihood and buy a house and buy a car and not wind up on welfare and food stamps, or you're going the college route, in which case we're preparing you for college. In other words, it's rigorous and you're ready to go. You're not taking remedial classes when you get to university. But right now, the community colleges are filling in this massive gap. And I'm happy and I'm proud to be part of that program. I'm proud to be part of a tradition that helps people make a life for themselves. I'm proud of that. And that is my passion. Saying that, we shouldn't have as many students as we have in the community college area trying to make a life when we've had them for 14 years in high school. So anyways, that's my take on minimum wage. Once again, if you've actually paid attention and listened the whole way and you had your mind open, minimum wage is a bad thing, but even worse is graduating people from high school with no trade skills or ability to make a living for themselves. So if you'd like to learn more, and by the way, thank you for watching. I am running for a seat out here in Texas, District 127 as a representative. If you want more information about that, be sure to check down below. I have information as far as my social media and my website. Until later, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.